guys, Johnny here again from Dauntless Fitness. Hope you've had a good week. I'm here again with another video to hopefully help you along with your health, fitness and nutrition. So hopefully you have been enjoying the videos so far and you've found the benefit. If you are new, then I will give you a little rundown of what we've been going through. We've been trying to introduce new habits, been given fitness, health, nutrition tips. I've also been setting a fitness challenge at the end, which I will go through a little bit later on. But I will go through one step at a time. First of all, though, I want to thank Harry Wright, as he is this week's winner. Last week's fitness challenge winner. So that would be the bodyweight 5-day challenge, and he's got a staggering 1,410 reps. So well done, Harry. You'll be getting your Dauntless hoodie sent through. This week, what we've got, we're going to introduce a new habit. We're also going to hopefully step up them habits that we've been working on over the past few weeks. We're going to start with week's one habit, which is water, which again, it's the foundation of everything. So we do really want to put a big focus on getting adequate water. Quick run through of the benefits of that. You're gonna feel healthier. Okay, everything in the body works better. Your immune system, everything. If you are fully hydrated, you're gonna perform better in your workouts. You're gonna lose weight if you drink enough water. If you're dehydrated, you're going to be holding on to water, especially around that midsection. If you don't drink enough, your body holds on to that water. So by getting enough in, your body has no reason to store that excess water. So another good reason to make sure you are getting a decent amount in every day. So we're going to go up from 1.5 litres to 2 litres this week. If you struggle to hit 1.5, don't go up to the 2 until you can comfortably hit that number. But I'm guessing it is going to be easier for you week after week as your body starts adapting to the new intake that you're taking in. If you're someone that is very low body weight, someone that's small, you might not need quite as much depending on your activity. I would say 2 litres is the minimum for most people, but it does go off body size and activity. So if you're not particularly active and you're quite small, then 1.5 isn't going to be too bad at all. But for the majority of people, 2 litres we want to be trying to get to this week. Another quick one on the habits. I did send through some links to the habit tracking sheets. I'll put them in again this week. But if not, there's some good habit tracking apps out there. The one I personally use is called Habit Bull, and it just makes things easier. You can tick the box every day that you get a new habit, and you can see the streak going. And once you get a few weeks under your belt, it gives you that extra incentive to not want to break the chain. So all these little tricks do really help, so they're definitely worthwhile. So the week 2 habit we went through was the nutrition tracking. Some of the benefits again of this are just by being aware of what you're eating. Studies show you are more likely to lose weight, not by changing anything in your diet, not as the result of changing anything in your diet, should I say, but because you've been more aware of it. The simple fact of just tracking what you eat does psychologically make you less likely to eat more, because you can actually see all these little things that you're eating throughout the day that you wouldn't normally be conscious of, because you're just picking quickly without really thinking about it. So just by tracking your food, not going off a particular set of calories, you will find that you can lose weight just by doing that. Now, if you do decide to go down the calorie tracking route, which does work, absolutely, but it isn't for everyone. If you are someone that's really busy, you might have kids along with work and you're trying to fit in your exercise, it might be too much of a burden. So that's absolutely fine. This habit here, I would say, if you've got time to do it, keep building it up each week. But if you find it's a burden and it's stressing you out and it's doing more negative than good, then now is the time to just say, I might do it once or twice a week, just so you're staying aware of what you're eating, but it's not becoming that drag, like another chore that can have a negative effect. If you overload your plate, you can start feeling stressed. So we definitely don't want that. if you're feeling the benefit and you're comfortable doing it, we went from 2 days per week last week with the tracking. We'll up that to 3 days this week. But again, if it's not working for you, then you can either cut it back or just keep it as it is. So 3rd week, we went for exercise. I did mention that if you are exercising already, then last week's habit of just 2 minutes to get the ball rolling might have been a little bit low. So if you started whatever you went for last week in terms of how much exercise you went for each day, we need to slowly increase that. I'll go off judging if you were a beginner, and we went for last week just 2 minutes of exercise per day, which doesn't seem a lot, and on its own it's not going to be a massive game changer, but it is hopefully starting to build that routine up. So if we start at 2 minutes per day exercise last week, let's go to 5 minutes per day this week. Not bothered about what you do, it's more about just doing some activity that you weren't doing already. So if you were doing daily dog walks and stuff, that's great, but try and make this extra habit something on top of that. Those are the 3 habits that we've already went through, which we're trying to increase this week. The new habit is this week we're going to do stretching. I did mention this on, I think, video 1 or 2 of just the tip in general, not a particular habit, of trying to add some stretching into your day. The more we work from home, the more people are tightening up. I'm hearing it a lot from our gym members. It's happened to me personally, going from being on my feet at the gym to in the chair, hips, shoulders. It does start tightening up, and you can get around it by like trying to stand up in between sessions, or if you're working like in 4-hour blocks, try and every half an hour just stand up and shake the legs off. That's all great, but we want to introduce a habit of stretching. This time we're going to go for 2 minutes, but I want you to try 2 minutes on the morning and then 2 minutes before you go to bed. It can be whatever stretching you want, depending on where you need it the most. Like if you've got really tight glutes, then you might want to focus there. If you've got really like rounded shoulders, then we might want to open the chest up, like a door frame stretch. Okay, so wherever you're feeling it most, that's where the focus should be. If you want any videos on stretching, one of our Dauntless PTs, Johnny Smith, has a great like video set on my personal page, which I will put a link into again. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Also, you can just fire a message to me, an email, and I'll help you out as best as I can on what might be the most beneficial moves for yourself. So the new habit of this week, it's going to be 2 minutes stretching in the morning, 2 minutes stretching on an evening. Now, the tip of the week. So I've been going for health tips, nutrition, fitness. This week it is a general health tip, mental health as much as anything else, and it's going to be meditation. So I do personally meditate. I've been doing it on and off for around 7 years, and I do really recommend it. I do get some sort of fight back from people on this, that they don't feel it's for them, but it is one of those habits, one of those things that it does take time for you to feel the benefit. Some of the benefits that you get, de-stress, I think that's the big one for myself. When I notice when I go for a period of 4 weeks or more without doing like a daily meditation practice, I find myself getting stressed out a lot easier. I'll struggle with little things that I wouldn't normally get overwhelmed with. So if that is a big one for you, I would definitely recommend it. It also helps just calm your mind down, and it helps you think a lot more clearly. So especially with all that's going on at the minute, that is a big one that I find a lot of people could do with. It is tough in the beginning when you are meditating. Again, I would start with the similar sort of practice that we do with the habits. Start just for a couple of minutes a day, and there are a few different ways to do it. You can sit down and just focus on your breath. You can actually do like a meditative practice when you're out running. A lot of people think of that as their own meditative practice where they're just getting out of their own head. I think that's the big takeaway. But anything that you can do, you can, as I say, just sit down quietly for 5 minutes on a morning and just unwind. Whatever works best for you. There are a few different options out there. Just try it, especially if you do struggle with any of the things that I mentioned there. I do really recommend it, and I do think that you will find the benefit for not just your health, but your work life, your relationships, everything. So that is the tip for this week. Now let's get to the fitness challenge. We went for steps again last week, which I did mention that we're going to do every 2 weeks because it is a good challenge to do. So hopefully you've enjoyed that one this past week. This week we're going to do another 5-day fitness challenge, a little bit different to the one we done 2 weeks ago. I will go through this and then I will show you some demonstrations of the movements as well and explain it a little bit more. But if there's anything you're not sure of, again, my email's there. You can fire a question away. So the 5-day fitness challenge, same format as last week in terms of it's just 5 days over the 7. It doesn't need to be Monday to Friday. You can do any 5 days you want. You can do 2 days on, rest, 1 day on, rest. Whatever you need to do, just try and get them 5 days in. What we have is a different mini challenge each day. So they're not very long, but what we'll do is we'll get a score for, say the first one is going to be max squats in 90 seconds. And you'll get individual points for how well you do in that day. And then the person with the most points at the end will win the week, if you like. So that's the first one. On day 1, it's max squats, bodyweight squats in 90 seconds. You're just going to try and get through as many as you can in that time frame. I will show you movement standards in the demonstration video in a moment. Then the next one is a plank. It's the maximum you can hold the plank for. That's going to be your score. The longer the time, the better the score. Third one is the fastest time you can do 50 sit-ups in. Okay, so this time the lower the score, the quicker your time, the higher the score. Next, it is a longest wall sit. So we'll show movement standards again. This one is the longest time is the biggest score. And the final one is the longest distance walk or run. This one, it doesn't give you extra points if you walk or you run. It's both identical. It's not how fast you do it. It's just the most distance in one run or walk. Okay, so those are the five mini workouts challenges. Do one each day, and then if you send your scores in to me via email, we'll get everything added up, and again we'll give a hoodie out for the prize as for whoever gets the most points. So that is the challenge for this week. I'll go through the movement standards, and if there is anything that you can't do, if you've got an injury or the movement itself is a little bit like you don't quite have the mobility for it, or for whatever reason, let me know and I can give you an alternative. I'd much rather someone gets an alternative than just thinks you can't do it, so you're not going to take part. Alright, so we'll go through the movement standards now. Hey guys, so we're going to go through the movement demonstrations and a bit further explanation on these mini challenges. Day 1, so this one we had the 90 seconds max air squats. Air squats, just another name for bodyweight squats. All these reps, we want them to look the same, just so we do get a fair score. What we're looking for, hips back first, then as you go back, then down, lock it out fully at the top. So that would be a good rep. What we call a bad rep is if you only go to there and then you don't lock out. Okay, so the first thing, the hips aren't low enough, so we want to get them down. Second thing, we'll fully lock it out at the top. If we're always going hips below the knee, fully lock it out at the top, then we're keeping all them reps the same, and we know we do get a fair score. Okay, so let's have the reps looking like that. Try and get as many in as you can. 90 seconds, that's the score. That is day 1. Day 2, this one we're going to do the longest plank. So this is for as long as you can. We're just going to hold the plank, which we'll go through here. If you struggle to hold the first variation I show you, then for more than 30 seconds, then we'll go on to variation 2. If you can't hold that for 30 seconds, then we'll go on to the third one. Right? So ideally everyone's getting a score of at least 30 seconds. So your first option on the plank is forearms down. Notice on that one, well, on all these movements, we're trying to get the hips and shoulders perfectly in line. What would be a bad rep or bad hold? Like that. As soon as your hips go too high, the abs switch off. We want the core muscles working hard on this one. So make sure we do keep shoulders and hips nicely in line. So that's your first plank, the standard plank we'd call that. The second option, this is the plank on the palms. So it is a bit easier. Shoulders will tire a bit more, but it's easier on the core. Key points on this one, nice and flat across the back again, but the shoulders are directly over the wrists. So a bad hold might be like that, where the shoulders are way behind. We want them right over like that. So the third one, we're going to do plank on the knees. We'll go back to the forearms, but we're on the knees rather than the toes. Body weight's forward, and we'll hold that there. So the order goes, first one's the most difficult, the third one is the least difficult, so find which one works best for you. Okay guys, so day 3, we're going to do as fast as we can, 50 sit-ups. There are a few variations on this. So, you've got your standard diamond sit-up. Why we like these, when we've got the feet together and the knees out, it means the hip flexors, these muscles here, which get quite tight, they aren't doing the work for us, we're working the abs. So from there, we're going to go back, touch the hands off the floor, touch the floor in front of the feet. Like the squats on day 1, it means each rep is the same. We're not just coming halfway up on any reps, because if we're touching there, we're going all the way, and then to touch in front of your feet, you need to be all the way forward. So it's 50 as fast as you can. Now, if we struggle with the sit-up, we can pop a weight on the feet, or if you don't have a weight, you can tuck your feet under something, like if you've got a low bed, you can sometimes fit your feet under. Anything to anchor yourself down will help with these. And we're going to go exactly the same on the movement standards. You touch the floor behind you, you touch the floor in front. Right, day 4, we're on to the wall sit. So this one you might not have done before. I'm going to demonstrate now. It is a tough one, no doubt. Here are the movement standards. We're going against the wall. Hips and knees are in line. We want the feet pretty much under the knees, and we want the hands off the thighs. Okay, wall, the back wedged up against the wall. This one is a tough one. That makes it a lot easier, so that's why we don't do that. We keep them hands off, and then when we're done, carefully out. No doubt you'll have to really shake them legs off. I can feel it there just after that short time. It is a tough one. Give it your best, guys, on that one. Don't worry if it's not a long score, because it is a tougher one. Likely you're not going to be able to hold that nowhere near as long as you can a plank. And day 5, so I don't need to demo this one. It is a walk or a run for as far as you can. So the longer you walk or run in one go, the better the score will be. Right guys, so those are today's movement standards. If there's anything from there that you're not sure on, or you would like me to go over in more detail, please get in touch. Otherwise, there is plenty of videos on YouTube that will go through all these movements. There's definitely not a shortage of info out there on them. Well, that is it for this week. Really do hope you have a good week and you are feeling the benefit of all these little habits, the challenges that we're doing, and I hope it's just giving you a little something extra for the week, because these days can all feel the same when we're stuck in the house. We're doing the same thing day after day. Hopefully this will spice it up a little bit, if nothing else. Right, thank you very much guys, and I will see you next week. All the best.